Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my
Let's fight, let's fight, let's fight.
system. I don't wanna get saved. I've been doing shit my way. The highway, and in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want.
Ready, bro. Firing all cylinders. Reaction time there, speed there. It's focus. That's what got him ready. It's focus.
Yeah. Good. Good. Stay in your rhythm, champ. Stay in your rhythm. Your rhythm, your time, your fight. Let's go.
You trying hard? Good job. This effort.
Interview number 1. When you look at how Stevenson is training for Teofimo Lopez, it becomes clear that the entire camp is built around surviving and controlling the early chaos rather than shining late when things are comfortable. How many rounds you do today? 17. Teofimo is most dangerous in the first half of fights. So, Shakur's conditioning is designed to handle pressure right away with fast-paced rounds, short rest breaks, and drills that force him to regain distance immediately after being rushed. The goal is to make pressure feel normal, not overwhelming. So winning rounds under stress doesn't feel different from cruising later. Yeah, so that's why we do that same.
How many rounds you do today? 17, right?
A big part of the work is also fixing the small defensive lapses that showed up in recent fights. Because against Teofimo, even one clean shot matters. That's why every jab and check hook now comes with an automatic step away or angle change. No standing still to admire punches. No giving Teofimo the confidence that he can land if he forces his way.
I got you on my time.
Shakur's movement isn't about running laps around the ring either. It's about small, controlled steps that keep Teofimo close enough to swing, but never balanced enough to land clean. Mentally, the camp is about learning Teofimo's habits, studying how he jumps in, how he loads up on single shots, and how he pauses afterwards. So, by the middle rounds, those attacks feel predictable instead of dangerous. The plan isn't to knock Teofimo out or overpower him, but to make him miss early, touch him back every time, and slowly drain his confidence until the big bursts fade. In simple terms, Shakur is training to make Teofimo work harder for less reward until the fight becomes frustrating, controlled, and stacked in shock.
Sprints kind of be getting me right, get my conditioning right. Sometimes in a fight could turn into a sprint, because it's like, to start the pace fast as hell and then they can't keep up the pace, but the sprints will kind of get you in shape to where once you break down, sometimes you get a second win. Then you get another win. Then you get another win after that. So I did the sprints a lot in a Jamel Herring fight. That's why you seen me fight at a fast pace. And then once I slowed down, I picked it back up and I had all the energy in the world to do it. So we locked in.
And this is where the calm logic of Shakur Stevenson's training smashes straight into the noise. Because once you've built a camp around surviving chaos without panic, these debates stop sounding theoretical. Listening to Sean Porter and the crew go back and forth, I can hear the real argument hiding underneath the jokes. We say we want savagery, but we punish fighters who survive too well.
Let's do the rest centered up, I think.
Oh, centered up? Okay, yeah, sorry. So he's looking right in the camera?
Yeah, because he's talking to...
Yeah, I'll land a punch on him. For sure.
Do you believe your opponent underestimates you?
I think my opponent is underestimating me because he said that I'm a slow one. He thinks that I'm too small.
Porter's talk about restarts, space, and resetting the fight isn't boredom. It's how you take oxygen away from Teofimo Lopez, a guy who needs rhythm breaks to feel dangerous.
Extremely smart.
Okay.
I can guarantee you this is what Shakur is going to do. Shakur is going to come out middle of the ring, work that jab, work that pawn that he does, all that, the feints. He's going to try to touch him with the jab, but he's going to be waiting on his moments to snap with that right hand, waiting on his moments to counter, waiting on his moments. And when they're not there, he's just going to slide off, go for that little walk.
And when people say Shakur needs to show the dog, I laugh because dogs get hit and Shakur's whole career is built on not letting you touch him. We complain about running, then admit Teofimo's had boring nights too, and suddenly nobody wants to finish the sentence. That's boxing. The wild card talk is real though, because Teofimo can flip a fight with one moment.
Restart. Shakur is the kind of fighter that does not mind restarting. That was our thing, was once we start, we want to do the best we can to get away from another restart, because the restart allows you to reset, allows you that space, and stuff like that.
While Shakur wins by quietly deleting options round by round. My take, the more fans beg Shakur to fight different, the more he becomes himself. He's not chasing cheers, he's chasing minutes. If Teofimo can't force trades, that twitchiness turns into shadow boxing with consequences.
Thing that I like about Shakur though is, we already know the statistical numbers in terms of how much he gets hit per round and even per fight, which is
low.
But the other side of that is offensively, he's very accurate, very accurate.
Quiet, and that's why this fight is dangerous both ways, because chaos needs permission, and Shakur trains to never give it. If order holds, we'll call it boring, while watching precision age perfectly. If chaos lands, we'll act shocked, even though we begged for it.
Like that he might throw 30, 40 punches around. He's usually on point when he throws. He don't miss. He finds his moments and then he turns it on. The difference is when he turns it on is he's delivered that power to a point where we actually sit back and all right, round after round, like, all right, he's losing these rounds.
Either way, somebody's truth breaks, and that's what keeps me locked in. Eyes open, bias checked. Waiting for the moment discipline gets tested under real fire. Not Twitter noise, not nostalgia, but live consequences in rounds.
Man, we're talking about a situation. We're talking about a situation where a fighter could be smart enough to just be right on point. What I mean by that is we could be in a situation where both these guys kind of coast.
And right after Porter broke down, restarts in patience like a veteran who's lived inside those moments. Bernie Faye boxer slides in and flips the angle without even raising his voice, because his whole take is basically y'all are missing what this fight is really about. Bernie said Shakur isn't just hard to hit. He lives in that cursed range where you're close enough to feel brave and far enough to look foolish. And I'm nodding because that's the Mayweather effect he's talking about, not flash. Just quiet frustration stacking up round by round.
Moments to steal moments in every round and steal rounds and actually win on the scorecards simply because he did just a little bit more. Simply because he was just a little bit more active.
When Bernie points out that Teofimo hasn't looked dominant lately, I hear less hate and more warning, because you can't show up bored against a guy who turns boredom into control. He said Teofimo gets touched, busted up, loses sharpness, and that matters when you're facing Shakur Stevenson, a fighter who doesn't rush greatness. He invoices it. I like how Bernie framed it as Shakur's fight to define himself, not Teofimo's, because that's pressure in disguise.
Shakur has the ability to diffuse you.
you know. So I think he has the Mayweather effect where he can diffuse you. It's just on if he's going to take the more risk, you know, to stamp his victory, you know what I mean? To you know, he's gonna let his hands go in the times that he could using his speed, you know. So that's just what I think it is with that. I think he know how to nullify what you're doing.
Interview number 12. You're not fighting the man across from you. You're fighting expectations, promotion, superstardom, and your own patience. Bernie said Teofimo had the lane after Lomachenko and let it drift. And that hit me because boxing doesn't wait for anyone to feel ready. Then he went straight for the uncomfortable truth. If you can't hit Shakur, how are you supposed to hurt him? And suddenly, all the power talk starts sounding theoretical. I laughed when Bernie questioned this mythic Teofimo power because facts don't care about highlight reels. And lately the damage hasn't matched the reputation. When he compared Shakur to Mayweather's ability to defuse opponents, that's not praise. That's a diagnosis. You can swing all night. But if nothing lands clean, confidence leaks. And when Bernie said this fight decides whether Shakur crosses into superstardom, I felt that weight because winning clean isn't enough anymore. It has to look undeniable. We're watching to see if control finally gets its flowers or if chaos steals the mic again.
Sometimes he leads in some fights, you know, he's not as capitalized as much as you think he could, you know. So I think that's going to be it. You know, if you make him miss, make him pay 2 or 3, you know, not just one counter punch, you know. So I think that's the thing will be about it. And I'm sure that he will, you know, I'm sure that he will. Of course, he's going to be a little cautious at first, but Tio ain't knocking nobody out neither.